Finally on the town hall, several nonprofit groups today called on the New York State Board of Elections to begin an investigation into former Governor Andrew Cuomo. It's over this commercial that he put out using his campaign dollars. They're also questioning some other campaign spending that they say is improper and not tied to running for office. We reported this week how the former governor will spend initially $250,000 to air that ad statewide. Keep in mind, though, he has more than $16 million in his campaign war chest. One of the groups asking for this new investigation is the New York Public Interest Research Group, or NYPIRG. Blair Horner is its executive director, and he joins me now live. Blair, great to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, and I was happy to hear about the weather forecast.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking forward to 60. We'll take whatever we can get. I want to start here with why you think the New York State Board of Elections should investigate the former governor, and then the second part of that is, do you think the agency actually will do it?
Well, we have this old-fashioned view of campaign contributions is that they should be used on campaigns, not anything else. State law says that you can spend your campaign contributions in your capacity as a candidate, appropriately enough, but also in your role as a public official or a political party official. And in the case of the former governor, his staff have said that he's not running for office, he's not a party official, and he's not a public official because he's resigned. So how is it possible that he could be spending hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars on advertising, public relations efforts, and media work to promote his image? How can he do that with campaign dollars that were given to him and his political committee because of the thought at the time that he was running for a fourth term as governor? We think it's a gigantic loophole in the law if it's allowed, and we've called on the State Board of Elections to investigate. So the second part of your question is, will they do anything? That, of course, gets a little trickier. The State Board of Elections is notorious for gridlock more than action. And the state has something called an election law council whose job it is to look into these things. And the new election law council has been on the case now and its position over the past, let's say, 6 months or so. And not much has happened. We haven't seen any activity. So we're a little concerned about the second part. But if the State Board of Elections and the Election Law Council don't believe they have the legal authority to go after this campaign spending, we think the public has a right to know that so we can fix the law, because this isn't right.
Yeah, as soon as this ad popped up, a lot of people were asking, is this legal? And if so, how is it legal? The Cuomo campaign and, people speaking for him say, other people have done this. Do we know if there's any precedent of that, or is this an unprecedented move, spending this type of money in this way?
Well, no one has had a war chest this big upon retirement, let's put it kindly, in terms of leaving office. There have been elected officials that have left office that have had, hundreds of thousands of dollars in their campaign war chest, and they often use it. They become lobbyists and they use it for campaign contributions to suck up to existing elected officials. But I've never really seen it being used as a way to promote someone's personal tattered image. The former Speaker of the Assembly, Sheldon Silver, who now deceased, before he went to prison, he drew down millions of dollars from his campaign account to fight going to prison. Same thing for the former Senate Majority Leader, Dean Skelos. So it's been used in that way. But for relentless self-promotion, I think they're moving into a new era, and they certainly have the biggest war chest I've ever seen to do it.
Finally, Blair, I've only got about 30 seconds left, but I want to ask you, does this not speak to the need for campaign finance reform to the laws? I mean, you mentioned maybe this is a loophole or maybe it's illegal, but either way, is there a legislative function here to try to rein in how this money can be spent?
Well, the key problem here is no one enforces the law. You can have the best law in the books if they're not enforced. What good are they? And that's the failure. The failure in Albany is the lack of independent oversight of any of the ethics and campaign finance laws. And that failure contributes to scandal and corruption, and that has to get fixed.
Blair Horner is executive director of NYPIRG, the New York Public Interest Research Group, one of those groups today that called on the State Board of Elections to investigate the former governor and his campaign spending. Blair, thanks for coming on. It's good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and thank you everybody for joining us for our Thursday town hall here at 5:30. Stick around next at 6, a live report from Lancaster where 2 teenagers were killed, a third critically injured in a late night car crash. The community there shaken. That story and more right after the break.